Jets, Jets. What is going on, Jets fans? Jets Ward back with you guys. And man, that was a crazy, exciting first round of the NFL draft. And sorry, guys, that I got on here late. Got back to the hotel room in DC pretty late tonight. I wanted to go live for the draft with you guys, but as you know, like I mentioned before, I am in DC with students and on a field trip. As a teacher, I really love being with the kids and everything. It's a fun time, but I'm glad I get to get on here with you guys and basically go over everything that took place. Let's talk about it because this is so exciting right now. So, starting off, we all knew, and I'll share the screen with you guys as well for these picks. Like, this is really exciting. We know that the first pick in the NFL draft, we knew that this was going to happen. We got Cam Ward going to the Titans. And talking with a buddy of mine, Rich from Fishbowl Fantasy Sports, if you know him, watch his channel. He does a great job over there. He's a Titans fan, and he's okay with Cam Ward. He would have rather went with like an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter, mainly Abdul Carter, because he's not high on this quarterback class. But Cam Ward goes to the Tennessee Titans, but we all knew that. And honestly, it wasn't that much of a shocker. What was a shocker was when it came down to the next pick, and that was the Jaguars trading up. The Jaguars traded up with the Browns and gave up a haul, in my opinion. Next year's first-round pick, too. They gave up the second-round pick this year. They gave up a ton of draft capital to move up, and they took arguably the best player in the draft. To me, Abdul Carter was. But Travis Hunter goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in all honesty, hey, Jets Poughkeepsie, what's up with you? I hope you enjoyed the draft. This was, like I said, guys, a crazy one. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the Jets pick as well. Armand Membu, I loved that one. I was a fan of Tyler Warren as well. I was also a fan of trade back, but we solidified our offensive line, and I am so pumped for that. Finally, Fishbowl Fantasy Sports, welcome. You guys got your quarterback, and that's a really good point that you bring up too. Luther Burden's still available. Honestly, I thought he was going to go to the Bills. I did not think the Bills were taking, I believe they took Tyleik Williams, who I thought was going to fall to the second round, but I think that's a steal for them, beefing up that defensive line. Man, there were so many players that I thought went a little high. Kelvin Banks to the Bears was a shocking one. I did not think that was going to happen. Kenneth Grant to the Dolphins. I had a second-round grade on Kenneth Grant. I love Kenneth Grant, but, man, I did not think he was going to go to the Dolphins that early. What pick did they have? They had pick Kenneth Grant. Oh, my apologies. Colston Loveland ended up going to the Bears, and that's a shocking one too, guys, that the first tight end off the board was Colston Loveland. I love Colston Loveland and had him as my second-ranked tight end, but compared to Tyler Warren, if you were going to go tight end with Chicago, you want to beef up that offensive line. You want somebody who can block. Tyler Warren was the best blocking tight end in, like, the skill-wise, could match, could catch, and could block. If you weren't going offensive line, Tyler Warren, I think, would have been a better fit for Chicago. Colston Loveland's solid, but I think Tyler Warren would have been a better fit. Not knocking Loveland, I'd love him, but I think for Chicago, Tyler Warren would have been a better fit for him. Another player that I'm really happy with the Cowboys. They went interior offensive line, Tyler Booker. They needed offensive line help, and Tyler Booker was a solid pick. I kept mocking him to the Colts if Tyler Warren was gone, but honestly, that's a great pick for them. I love Kelvin Banks to the Saints. I was shocked about that one. I was confident they were going to go Jackson Dart, but Good pick for them. They needed line help as well, tackle help. That was a great one. Ashton Genty to the Raiders. Knew that was going to happen. A lot of people were a fan of that one. The team that I want to say that I'm really, really shocked with of how good they did is the Browns. They got one of the best D tackles in the league. Trading back to 5, they added an extra first-round pick next year, a second-round pick this year. They're the first pick in the next round, which they could go Shedeur Sanders. That could be very, very big for them. So they have the first pick, and I wouldn't be shocked if Shedeur Sanders goes number 1 in the second round. So you're telling me the Browns end up with Mason Graham and Shedeur Sanders? That's a solid draft to start. Tomorrow, there's so many players still available. One player I'm shocked with that's still available, Nick Emmanwori, safety. I thought he's the best safety in the draft. I'm shocked he is still available. I'm shocked Jihad Campbell fell so far. There are a lot of players that I'm happy for that got picked, but there's a lot of them that I'm shocked fell so far. I don't understand how Will Johnson's still on the board as well. Will Johnson, I understand, was hurt, but he's been cleared. He's the best cornerback in the draft, in a lot of people's opinion. And he's still there in the second round. It's kind of crazy thinking about all these picks. Happy for the Colts. They got the tight end that they wanted. They was mocked to them the whole time. The biggest need the Colts had was tight end. They got Tyler Warren. Falcons, too. Falcons got solid defensive players. They got James Pierce. They traded up for him. And they got Jalen Walker, a player that was mocked to them before. They said they loved. So they got linebacker help and edge help. Both players can help on the edge. So their defense is getting better. And one of the biggest issues with the Falcons last year was edge rushing, pass rushing. They got 2 players in the first round that help solve that right away. Like I said, all of these teams, it's a shocker how some of these players fell, and I'm really happy with my Jets. We got hit in a need. Armand Membu, who arguably the best right tackle in this draft, so I'm really happy. We solidified the offensive line, but now what are you going to do? There's solid tight ends still left. Mason Taylor still available. Harold Fainan's still available, who I would love. Or do you go defensive line? There's not really much defensive line help still. Honestly, who's left on the defensive line? I don't think there's really, for defensive tackle, I don't think there's really that much. You go edge rusher. Mike Green is still on the board, and I am flabbergasted. I can't believe he's still there. People think so highly of him, and he's still on the board. I don't know why. A big shout out to Giants. You guys got, in my opinion, the best player in the draft in Abdul Carter at pick 3. Knew that was going to happen. A lot of people predicted that. Then you made the smartest move, trading up with the Houston Texans to get Jackson Dart, the best quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. He's somebody who I think is going to be so good. Have him sit behind Russell Wilson for a year. You have Jameis Winston, who can be your backup quarterback next year. Give this year for Dart to sit, and the sky's the limit for this kid. Giants really hit it out of the park. Now, problem is they don't have a third-round pick now. So they are going to be waiting a while for their next pick. But I think it was such a smart move for them to trade up. They don't have a second-round pick. They don't have a third-round pick. So they are going to be waiting a ton of time till day 3. But you hit it out of the park. You got your quarterback of the future, and you got another edge rusher. Question now is, what do you do with Kayvon Thibodeau? That's the biggest thing, question mark right now. Do you keep him? I don't think so. I think they're going to end up trading him tomorrow at some point, maybe in round 3, to come back to make sure you have a round 3 pick. But let me know what you guys think. Like, what picks did you think were shocking ones? Like, I'd love to hear from you guys. How do you feel about the Jets pick? Do you love Armand Membu, or would you have rather went with Tyler Warren? Tyler Warren and Armand Membu were the 2 biggest names for the Jets, and we knew that. I'm really glad they didn't go Jedi Bayern. I was kind of getting nervous there. Shamar Stewart as well, kind of getting really scared with that one, but I'm glad the Jets avoided that. Who else? Walter Nolan to the Cardinals was a shocker to me. I knew they needed D-line help, but I was figuring they would wait. I thought they would have went at Emeka Egbuka. I thought receiver would have been great for them. But Walter Nolan's a stud. He is a steal at defensive tackle. I think it was a great pick for him. Shamar Stewart to the Bengals. They need defensive help. In all honesty, I do not fault them for taking any defense. All their picks in this draft should be defense, in all honesty. And they got an athletic freak, a guy who the Jets were really interested in rumors, guy who is very strong, very fast, great in run defense and pass defense. Honestly, great pick from them. Seahawks, interior offensive line help as well, which was great for them. Gray Zabel, he was projected to be a second-round pick, but when Booker went earlier, he was one of the top ones. I still think I would have rather picked Donovan Jackson because of just the ability to play both tackle and guard. I think the usefulness of that would have been better for you guys. But I'm not going to fault you. Gray Zabel's a solid player. Buccaneers. So this is a great one too. Weird how Atlanta traded back in for another pass rusher. Ulbrich. Yeah, I do really think that was the Ulbrich effect. Because if you remember with the Jets, we wanted all of our pass rushers. Will McDonald, I'm confident, was a him and Salah pick. There was no, you can't tell me otherwise. You wanted as many pass rushers as you want. Quincy Williams could have been blitzed better in that draft too. Atlanta, I think Pierce would have fallen to the second round, probably fallen to them, but I don't think you risk it. And if anything too, you didn't even take the best one. So I like Atlanta's effort to work on their pass rush. And this is a great question. Thank you very much, Jets Poughkeepsie. But if you were to trade back up in the first round for another edge rusher, you got Jalen Walker, who's seen as an edge rusher. And I think in their when they introduced him, they said defensive end. Then with James Pierce, basically like very similar player. I would have rather went with Mike Green, who I think could give you so much more than James Pierce. I think James Pierce, I'm nervous about him. He's very light. He's very fast, but I think Mike Green would have been a better pick for them. In all honesty, I think that would have been a safer pick. Did they find something behavior-wise? That was my biggest worry with Mike Green going into this because he has had off-the-field issues. So there's going into that could be a reason why he's still on the board. Emeka Egbuka, I love that to the Bucs. They did need receiver help. Would have thought cornerback and safety was a bigger need for the Buccaneers. Malachi Starks, I think, would have been a perfect fit. Nick Emenwari, I thought, would have been a great fit for them. But you got the best receiver in the draft, honestly. I think Emeka Egbuka is the best receiver in the draft. You put him with Mike Evans. You put him with Godwin. If Godwin's fully healthy, you guys have a stacked receiving core. And with Cade Otton as your tight end in Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's going to have some fun. And last year, he led the league in touchdown passes. Don't be shocked if he throws like 10 to 15 more touchdowns, especially to Emeka Egbuka, who just gets open. I can't explain it. Just gets opened, in all honesty. So Tampa Bay got a steal at that pick. I knew he wasn't going to fall to the second round. All the mock drafts that I saw Emeka Egbuka fall into the second round, I just laughed because there's no way. The kid is too talented. Ohio State pumps out way too many good receivers. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, just to name a few. They just know how to provide good receivers, in all honesty. And Emeka Egbuka is going to be the best one. I'm calling it now. Team that I'm shocked about, though, going back up to Carolina, Ted McMillan. I really thought they would have went edge rusher there. Jalen Walker was someone I thought would go there. But I really like that move because if you're not confident in your receivers that you have, Ted McMillan, you could do worse. You could definitely do worse. I like the Ted McMillan to Carolina. Get another big-bodied receiver for Bryce Young to throw it up to. He's strong hands, not the quickest receiver, but can block, can do all the things you need him to do. And just another big receiver for Bryce Young to throw it up to. Solid pick for them. Going down, Jaden Barron to the Broncos. I don't know. Jay Barron scares me because he played safety originally. Then he was moved to cornerback. He's great he's great in zone, but man to man, he gets pummeled. And as a cornerback too, I think he's going to be okay. But Denver tends to go man a decent amount. So I'm worried about that. And Jedi Barron, if you wanted a cornerback, a solid one, you would have went with Will Johnson or my favorite, Trey Amos. I think Trey Amos is better than Barron, but I could be wrong. Trey Amos could play man and zone. Barron's just a zone guy, honestly. Going back up to the 49ers pick as well, Michael Williams, he's a solid guy. It's no offense, but he's going to try to use him as like he did with Will McDonald for the Jets. And it's going to be interesting because Michael Williams has not shown the ability to have a pass rush. He's powerful. He's young, but there's still a lot he needs to work on. And that could be a big issue for them, in all honesty. So Michael Williams to the 49ers, I think, is a good move. I think there were some other players they could have gone with. I think Jahad Campbell could have been a better position, could have been a better player for them. Getting somebody who could play outside linebacker. Defensive tackle Walter Nolan could have gone there and been solid for them. They need defensive tackle help. They need receiver help. They need a lot in there. Michael Williams, okay. There were a lot of shocks, though, in all honesty. Continuing down, I might go on a tangent here. Pittsburgh, what are you doing? What are you doing? You had two options for quarterbacks at this position. Are you telling me that you are okay waiting for Aaron Rodgers, who I don't know if he still wants to play? He hasn't shown anything, the ability that he wants to play. In his last meeting, other than ripping the Jets, he basically said that he has a ton of stuff going on in his personal life. So what's your plan? Are you going to trade up with the Browns to try to get Shedeur Sanders? They're not doing that. Shedeur Sanders is still available at this point. You also have Jackson Dart, who's still available at this point. And you pass up both of them. Derek Harmon's a great player. Great defensive tackle. But there are other solid defensive tackles still at free agency or in the draft later on. How do you pass up on a top-rated quarterback like Dart and Sanders or Milroe? There was rumors that you guys like Milroe too. I don't get. You're a team that is a win-now mode. That wasn't a win-now move. Derek Harmon's a good player, great player on that defense. It's a solid player. I don't want to knock the player because he's a monster. But you need quarterback. Who's going to throw it to Pickens? Who's going to throw it to DK Metcalf? Who's going to throw it to Tavon or to Calvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth? You need running back help too. You needed other positions of more value. You need a quarterback. You're not going to win with Mason Rudolph. I'm telling you that now. Or Thompson, Skylar Thompson. You're not going to win with those two. You should have taken Dart. You should have taken Shedeur Sanders. There's still a chance. Who knows? Maybe Shedeur falls even more, and you can trade up again, or you can trade up. Doubt it. I honestly think he's the first pick in the first round or first pick in the second round. But Steelers, they confused me. I had no idea what they were doing, and I think they missed it not taking quarterback there. I get it. It's not the strongest quarterback draft, but you got nothing. You have nothing on that team. at quarterback. And I don't want to knock Mason Rudolph, but he is not a starting quarterback in this league. Honestly, he is not. And sorry if you're a Steeler fan in here, and I got 15 people here, and I appreciate all of you and love you guys, and thank you so much for being up with me this late. I appreciate you. I hope you had fun with the draft tonight. But man, the Steelers, I think you dropped the ball with that not taking a quarterback, because you allowed the Giants to come back in and take one that I think was pretty high on your board, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. Steeler fans could tell me I'm wrong, and you are able to do that. I want to hear your comments too. But man, I think you missed it with the quarterback. I think Dart should have been your guy, or Sanders. Going on though, O'Myron Hampton to the Chargers. I like it. You needed a running back, which I think you got a good one. Hampton, I think, is going to be a monster, especially for fantasy football guys. A lot of people were projecting him, and I saw a couple friends text him before saying that he was going to be like a Derrick Henry Jr. I won't see that, but I could definitely see a early form of a Brandon Jacobs type of player who just ran over everybody, Ahmad Bradshaw type of player, powerful. He doesn't protect himself that much, though. And I think the Chargers are going to run the ball so much in that Harbaugh offense. He's going to get beaten up pretty quickly. And honestly, they needed defensive line help. They needed cornerback help. I thought Will Johnson would have been perfect for them because they just lost Asante Samuel Jr. They might bring him back, maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. But there could have been other players you went with. O'Myron Hampton, I'll give it to you, solid player. But I think there are more needs that you had that could have been better for you. But I would give the pick a C+. Honestly, you guys could say, hey, it's early. He could be the best running back in the league next year. But these are early beliefs of what I think. All right. And I think the Chargers, you did good. But going on to the Packers with Matthew Golden, A+. You guys needed receiver help. You got Christian Watson, who's a solid player, solid receiver, good number 2. You got Romeo Doubs, who I like a lot, solid number 2 option. And you have another receiver. I forget what his name is, but he was solid last year too. But now you got a burner as a receiver. And I love Matthew Golden. He was my second-rated receiver in this draft. I think you guys got a really good, nice weapon for Jordan Love. I would give this an A+, because that you haven't drafted a receiver in the first round in years. And when you do, you finally got a great one. You got a solid player. I think he's going to make an impact for Jordan Love on day 1, especially when you have Josh Jacobs as your running back as well. So you got weapons. You got an offense that's solid. And your defense isn't shabby either. So you guys could definitely make a run. That was a really good win now move. I really love what the Packers did. And getting into the next one, Donovan Jackson, Vikings. I thought safety was a bigger need. I really thought you were going to go Nick Emonwori, who I'm shocked is still available. But I love the Donovan Jackson pick. He's going to be good in this league. And you have him as your left guard. You're building up a very, very stout offensive line and protecting McCarthy. It was a very underrated need for you guys, but in all honesty, solid pick. Donovan Jackson's going to be great. And if you guys didn't know, he played left tackle when Josh Simmons got hurt. He was their left guard originally, then moved to left tackle. He can play both tackle and guard. He plays guard much better, and I think he's going to be their left guard. You just signed a new center from the Colts who was a stud. You also signed their right guard who is great. And your line is shaping up to be a very formidable one. So running back help if Cook comes back, or you don't have Cook, you have I forget who your running backs were. But there are late round running backs that you could take as well. Kinshawn Judkins, I think, is going to be really good. Take him in the later rounds and just let him run through this offensive line. And I think that would be awesome for you guys. Just build around McCarthy to help him out so much. Jackson Dart, Giants traded back in. Love that. A+ first round for them, in my opinion. Falcons trading back up to get Pierce. You needed edge help, I guess. And you got a very interesting one. I just think there were much better edge rushers at this time. Malachi Starks to the Ravens. Can somebody explain to me how the Ravens, every draft, have some amazing player fall to them? Can somebody tell me that, please? Because it seems like every year the Ravens, they don't move, they don't trade up, they don't do anything. But great defensive players just fall to them. Malachi Starks, really? You're going to have him back there now in your secondary? He can tackle. He can cover. He can cover man-to-man really well. Great in zone. Just an effective, looked at as being the best safety in this class. Just falls to the Ravens. It's crazy to me. I don't understand how they keep getting away with it, honestly. I don't understand how they keep getting away with this. It is insanity to me. And sorry, guys. It's so crazy. And again, for you guys that are in here, I appreciate you staying up with me, just hearing me rant, hearing me go over these players. But it was such an exciting first round. I really loved it. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. But Malachi Starks falling to them was crazy. Oh, here's where Tyleik Williams went. Sorry, I think I said to the Bills earlier. No, they got a cornerback. So Tyleik Williams going to Detroit. Just compliment Aiden Hutchinson more, why don't you? Detroit, I'm so mad at Detroit because Tyleik Williams was somebody who I really wanted in the second round because you got Armand Membu in the first round. Physical lineman. And I loved it. I loved the pick. And my mentality was, because AG, I believe, came out and said that he wanted to build through the trenches. And you got a guy, because I was looking at Kenneth Grant going to the second round, and him as well, Tyleik Williams, going to the second round, and one of them falling to the Jets. And having two stud linemen, Membu and then Tyleik Williams being there, and just having a formidable offensive line, defensive line, and then figure something out about tight end. Maybe Harold Fannin fell to the third round. Maybe that happens. And I love Harold Fannin. Needs to work on blocking, but he's a matchup nightmare. And if the Jets were able to get him, I think Justin Fields would love it. But there's also Mason Taylor there too. I love Mason Taylor as tight end, but Tyleik Williams would have been such a great pick in the second round. And the Detroit Lions are like, nope, we're going to take him. It's a great move by them. I think he's so underappreciated and underrated. I think he wasn't talked enough about a lot. So that is something I think they got to steal at pick 28. Another one that I thought was interesting too, Josh Conerly Jr. going to the Commanders. And Conerly was known as a left tackle for the Oregon Ducks, which is shocking because I don't know if he can play right tackle. He might be able to, which could be very good, but he's a left tackle, and they just traded for a left tackle in Laramie Tunsil and gave up a lot for him too. In all honesty, they're building a great offensive line there too. You have two stalwart tackles. If Conerly plays right tackle and plays it well, that's a great move for them. But safety's another big need for them. Defensive back is a big need for them. Linebacker was a big need for them. Building up that defense would have been really, really good. But in my opinion, and I know Dom C is very high on Josh Conerly too. I think he rated him as his best tackle in this draft. Commanders got a good one. you can't fault the player. He's a great player. I just don't know if he was their biggest need at that point. But again, you don't always just go for need. All right. You go for the people on your draft board. You go for best players. And I think Matt O'Leary said it best the other day when he said, just draft good players. I don't care positions of need. I don't care what. Draft good players. And Commanders got a really good one. They got a really, really good one there. And that leads us to the Bills. Now, I've mentioned the Bills a good amount in recent videos. And I know I have some Bills fans that watch the channel, and I appreciate you guys are always welcome in the Jets Ward. I did not think you were going to go with Maxwell Hairston. Great player, great cornerback from Kentucky, fast, very, very fast, can cover man, has great instincts for the ball. But I think Trey Amos would have been a much better fit for you guys. I think the problem with Hairston is that he has great instincts for the ball, but he tends to bite really, really fast on play action. And that's where he can get beat deep. And that's the problem. He has great speed to make it up, but it's really, really tough when you have really good receivers now. It's not like college where you can make up that speed and catch up really quickly. It's going to be tougher for him. And I think Trey Amos would have just been a better fit for zone coverage and man-to-man. I think he would have been a better fit, but I like that they're going after a position of need. I think it's a solid one. And I'm interested to see how they utilize him. But then the Eagles, Howie Roseman finds out a way every time. And the trade compensation wasn't even awful. He moved up one pick and got the player that he wanted. Jahad Campbell, best linebacker in the draft. Just building that defense even more. And I think they said it perfectly when they made the pick on the site that I was watching the draft. They said that Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, they make great plays, but it's that defense that wins them the games. And it's so true. That defense of Philadelphia is so underrated. I think they're so good. I think now that you're boosting to it, because you got Jahad Campbell who can rush off the edge. He can play Mike backer. He can play outside linebacker. He can cover. He's good in the run game. He's just overall a fantastic, fantastic player. And honestly, I love that. And I think these last two players are going to be my steals of the first round because Eagles got Jahad Campbell, who is the best linebacker in the draft. And Chiefs got the best O-lineman, in my opinion, in the draft, the best tackle. Josh Simmons, his medicals have been cleared. He is cleared to play. And now the Chiefs got the best left tackle in the draft. He could have also played right tackle. He was injured last year in week 5, and it was a serious injury. But when healthy, he's so technically sound. Awesome pass blocker, solid run blocker, needs to get stronger up top. He relies on this technique a lot in the run game, but man, he's just so smooth, so fluid, and the Chiefs got a great one. I think the Chiefs made a fantastic pick with Josh Simmons, and it was funny. I was watching this draft, and I was going to go over my projected things, and maybe I'll do that with you because I think it would be fun just to show you how wrong I was with a lot of these picks because I'm going through it and I'm like, I'm going based on need. I'm going based on what I've heard, what rumors I've heard. And man, I was so wrong with a lot of these picks. I was caught off guard so much. And I'm going to stop presenting this and I'll present to you guys one of the slides that I made. And I hope you guys enjoy these slides that I make too for you guys when I do my videos going over players that I really like. I give the backgrounds and everything. I hope you guys enjoy that. But man, I want you guys to see how wrong I was with this draft because I was so excited. I thought I was doing so well. I hit it with the Titans Cam Ward to the Titans. I was right with that one. Awesome. And then I had Travis Hunter going in the right spot. Wrong team. I had him going to the Browns. I really thought they were going to stick and pick. I did not think the rumors were true about the Browns actually wanted fielding calls to trade out. I really didn't. And I was so frustrated when I saw that. Happy for the Jaguars because it's a great player. But, man, I had the Browns taking Travis Hunter. Yeah, it's good. Same spot, but just wrong team that picked them. This was all my projections before that I was going to make a video out about. I think I did make a video about it, just telling you my projections. But, man, I'm looking back at it and being like, damn, I missed the mark on a lot of these. But that's the draft for you guys. You never know what's going to happen. And this year with this draft too, you just didn't know. There was not a lot of leaks coming out from a lot of teams. What you heard, Cam Ward going to the Titans. Everybody knew that. He went on his on Twitch and was just telling the world best receivers, Calvin Ridley, Burke. All right, best running backs, all the guys that they have. Just going over team members of the Titans being like they're the best in the NFL, best in the NFL. You knew he was going to be a Titan. It was obvious. But then when the rumors started coming about that the Browns and the Giants were fielding calls, I honestly thought it was smoke. I really didn't think the Browns were going to trade out. I really think they thought they loved Travis Hunter. And the idea of getting both Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, I thought would have been too intriguing, would have been too captivating because I thought they liked both of them. They had a chance because Shedeur's still there, which I'm shocked about. I thought he was going to go in the first round. I thought he was sneakily, since he passed the Steelers and when the Giants traded up, I thought he was going to go to the Giants. I thought since he didn't go, I thought he would have went to the Rams. I thought the Rams could have picked him because Matt Stafford's older. He's not going to be there for a while. But continuing on, the next pick, another obvious one, Abdul Carter going to Penn State. I had that one, which I thought was good. I think everybody penciled that down. I thought Armand Membu was going to Missouri. He went to Missouri. I thought he was going to the Patriots. I thought they just loved his physicality. I thought he would have been the pick there. But they ended up taking Will Campbell, who I thought, great move. They needed a left tackle. They didn't see Membu as a left tackle. He is the right tackle. So they got Will Campbell, who was a perfect tackle for them. I thought they could have traded out, which would have been interesting. Next, I had Jaguars taking Tyler Warren. Shocked he wasn't. I think that was one of the big shockers, too, in this draft, that he wasn't the first tight end taken. I know there were rumors that people had that Colston Loveland was ranked higher on some boards, but I didn't think Warren was actually going to fall, honestly. And then continuing on, I had Campbell going to the Raiders. I thought they needed a lineman. They ended up going the flashy pick with Ashton Genty, which I thought was really interesting. In all honesty, guys, I honestly thought these were going to happen. I thought the 49ers were going to come up and take Mason Graham, but he ended up going to the Browns, which we didn't talk about this a lot. And honestly, I think this is going to be really good. We kept talking about Abdul Carter possibly going to the Browns and just having him and Myles Garrett on the same defensive line. I thought that would have been crazy. I think Myles Garrett and Mason Graham complement each other so much better because he gives you speed and power on that defensive line and takes a lot off of Myles Garrett, in my opinion. And imagine if they bring back Zadarius Smith to Cleveland, giving another edge rusher or bringing in a new edge rusher. That could be solid. That defense in Cleveland can be scary. But I had the Mason Graham falling to them. I had the Jets trading out, which didn't happen. I had Panthers taking Calvin Banks, or the Bears trading up and taking Calvin Banks. And in all honesty, I hit on that one. They did take him. So that was pretty funny because I had that one hit, which was great. I didn't think they were going to get him. Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't hit. Absolutely not. I'm lying to you guys. I apologize. I thought they were going to take tackle. I thought they were going to go with protecting Caleb Williams because they missed out on tackle, but they got Colston Loveland, which I think is a good move for them. So you guys can just see how bad I was at ranking these, which was funny. I had them Saints taking Dart. And nope. Took that. Thanks. I had my Panthers taking Mike Green. I had no idea that he was going to fall out. Let me know what you guys think. Is there anybody you're shocked about that fell out of the first round? In all honesty, this draft is so deep in a lot of positions that I'm looking at it and it makes sense how some players fell. If you had a little medical issue, look how far Josh Simmons fell. He was talked about before his injury about being the best tackle, a top 5 pick in this draft. Then the injury happened. He's picked 32 to the Chiefs, which is a great move. I think they got a steal. But just looking at it, it seems like even the littlest of injury or littlest of off-the-field behavior issues are causing a lot of these players to drop. Mike Green looked as being a top 3 edge rusher in this draft by a lot of players, by a lot of analysts as well. Very underrated. He's not even a first-round pick. You have Shedeur Sanders, who's ranked as the second best quarterback in this draft to a lot of analysts. Not even picked in the first round. You have so many players. Luther Burden, first-round talent as a receiver, not even drafted in the first round. This draft is so wild so far, and I'm loving it. I'm so excited to keep going to see what goes on tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be even more chaotic. The Jets have 2 picks tomorrow. My prediction is Mason Taylor is going to be the tight end that they pick in the second round. I think they go tight end in the second round. And I think third round, you know what? They could, if Nick Emmanwori is still there for the Jets in the second round, I wouldn't be shocked if they pulled the trigger on Nick Emmanwori. They need safety help. Maybe Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. But Emmanwori, I think, would be a steal in the second round. He's not a second-round talent. He's a first-round talent that just fell. And it happens every year. These talented players fall every year for no reason, and it's mind-boggling to a lot of players or to a lot of teams and a lot of analysts and to a lot of fans. But Mike Green not being there, falling into the second round is a shocking one. Luther Burden, shocking. Imagine the Jets get him. That could be fun. Trey Harris is still available, which I love. I love Trey Harris from Ole Miss. Tomorrow's going to be very, very interesting. I'm honestly loving what's going on. I think every team did pretty well. I love my Jets. They got their offensive line. Hopefully they got it solved. Please, we have so much first-round talent and money paid into this offensive line. Can we please, please, please finally be done with it and focus on players that can help out Justin Fields even more? Get him a tight end. I don't care if it's Harold Fainin. I don't care if it's Mason Taylor. I don't care if it's Gunnar Helm. Get him a tight end. Because you cannot go into the season next year with with nobody's. Stone Smart, your number one tight end. He's ranked as being a projected good player next year, but he's never started a game. You're going to tell me Jeremy Rucker's your number 1 receiver? Okay, he's got a great relationship with Justin Fields. Who cares? He has not proved anything in the NFL yet. He's proved how to drop passes and miss blocks. And I love Jeremy Rucker. I think he could be good, but he hasn't proven to be a number 1 yet. You got Stone Smart and Jeremy Rucker as your tight ends. You need to draft a tight end in the second round if you're the Jets. I know there are more pressing needs, but defensive tackle, you can get so many guys later in the draft. For Jamari Caldwell could be a fantastic 3rd to 4th round pick, in my opinion. Could be great. You go receiver. I will not be mad if you get tight end or receiver. Those are the 2 things, but you cannot tell me you're going to take Shedeur if he's there or Jalen Milroe. You can't. You got so many more needs. You're proving that you trust Justin Fields multiple times in these things. You've said that you trust Justin Fields. And I'm going to stop showing that, because if AG and Muji are really all in and want to bring in players to win now, like they've said they want to, you have to get a tight end, because Justin Fields loves throwing to the tight ends, or you got to get a top receiver to complement Garrett Wilson. You cannot go into the season telling me that Jackson Hall is possibly in the later rounds, and Jeremy Ruckert are your starting tight ends. You cannot. Please. I love the Armand Membu pick. I really do. I think that's solid. You finally finished your offensive line, hopefully. But you cannot neglect the offensive side of the ball in the second round. Go deep. Defense is so deep in this class. If you trade back in the second round and maybe go after defense, okay, as long as you recoup more third-round picks. But if you stick and pick at your next pick, I believe 42, you have to take a tight end or a receiver. It has to be one of those guys, one of those positions, because you got your tackle in the future. You got your offensive line set up. Now give Fields weapons. You have Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. You're not going to tell me that Allen Lazard is your number 2 receiver and that you trust him to just miraculously bounce back, not having Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball. And when he proved last year that Aaron Rodgers had no effect on him. Early in the season, he was doing great, but still had the drop passes in crucial moments and could not stay healthy. If you tell me Lazard's a 4th option, cool. Yeah, Tyler Johnson, cool. Solid depth piece. You got to get the receiving core and you got to get the tight end core figured out. You have to. I love what the Jets did in the first round. I love Membu, right tackle. I would have rather Josh Simmons, or Membu is my second-ranked tackle. I would have rather Josh Simmons. I think he was just a better overall prospect. But Membu's your right tackle. Happy with it. Get a tight end. Get a receiver. If there's a way to trade back in to get a Higgins later, or to get a Jalen Noel, or to get a Trey Harris, who I think is going to be a monster, you have to figure out a way to do it. You have to. And then figure out defense later on. Jared Ivey, I think, is a monster. You can get him in the 4th round, 3rd round, and 4th round. You get Jamari Caldwell, 4th round. RJ Mickens at safety, who I think can be a starter in this league in later rounds, 5th round. You have opportunities to get defensive players, solid defensive players that can be starters in this league on day 3. You have to figure out the offense now. You have to. The next 2 pieces that you should get are tight end, receiver, in that order, in my opinion. I could be wrong. You guys could be thinking, God, this guy's just rambling. This guy's crazy. He has no idea what he's talking about. But I've seen too many times that we get these young quarterbacks and surround them with nothing. Sam Darnold never gave him any weapons. Never gave him a decent offensive line. His number 1 receiver was Robbie Anderson, and for a while it was good. But that was it. Cumberland was his number 1 tight end. It wasn't good. Then you got Zach Wilson. Granted, you got him weapons. Zach Wilson wasn't good. But you had no depth. Garrett Wilson goes down. Allen Lazard, your number 1. There are still opportunities for receivers out there in free agency. I mentioned Elijah Moore, and I know a lot of people don't want that because he gave up. But He fits the age group. He fits a position of need. You could argue for him coming back, but AG and Muji need to make their mark on the offensive side of the ball. Our defensive coaching staff is our most well seasoned. We got Steve Wilkes. We got AG. We have all of these defensive minded coaches that have been around for a while that can coach and teach these players. You have a young offensive staff, a young quarterback who's still trying to find his way, who's had rough times in Chicago, never gave him anything, a really bad coaching staff in Chicago, to Pittsburgh, never gave him an offensive line. And when he was winning, went 4-2, you benched him for a quarterback that didn't do much better. You never had the faith. Show your new quarterback that you have faith in him by giving him weapons. You got him protection, get him a tight end and get him a receiver, and let this offense flourish. You got it. And maybe, just maybe, later rounds, take another receiver or an interior offensive lineman. You got to get offensive depth. This is the draft where it's great for the Jets because they do have so many needs, but all of those needs that they have, there's an abundance of good players that are going to fall that into later rounds that they can take. First round, awesome. It was great. But this is where it gets real for the Jets specifically. And for other teams, you need to hit on later round picks. Green Bay is a great example of being able to do that. New England has been able to do that in recent history. The Buffalo Bills have been able to do that. The Steelers are notoriously good at doing that, especially when it comes to defensive players, receivers. Seattle, okay at it. Minnesota, Denver. Good teams figure out how to draft players, good players, in the later rounds. First round, you have all these high grades. Awesome. Some might hit, might do great things for their teams. Some might not. Second, third, fourth, fifth, especially sixth and seventh, are where you need to hit on players. You need to do your research. You need to figure out, because those could be pipeline players that might not start out as starters now, but can come in the future or can come in a pinch and hold it down for you. And the Jets have not had that in years. All right? Especially with the offensive line. We put so much money into it. We're building it. I'm really hoping we can start getting pipeline players. Seth McLaughlin, Ohio State center / guard, is a later round interior offensive lineman that I really like, that I think could be a great pipeline player. Cade Mays from Tennessee, center, could be an awesome pipeline player, can play guard. Defensive side, Jared Ivey. I keep talking about him. He's John Franklin Myers 2.0 with more power. If you take him in the later rounds, he will not disappoint. I'm that confident in him. Jamari Caldwell as well. This is the year for AG and Muji. I know it's their first year. I know it's their first year and they're trying to figure it out. Muji's first-time GM. Aaron Glenn has been a scout before, but it's first time as head coach. You have Rick Spielman, who I love in there, who knows talent. Utilize his brain, pick his brain, and get great players in the later part of the draft. Trade back if you need to in the second round to acquire more picks. You need to get players that can play right now. Like Matt O'Leary said, just get good players. I don't care if it's a position of need. Get good players. And get players that are leaders. Don't get knuckleheads who are going to take themselves off the field. All right? I think Muji and AG have a great background. They are people who are holding players accountable. Granted, listen to what AG said about a question he got tonight about Aaron Rodgers' comments. Basically said, that's a great question. We love Armand Membu and are happy he's a Jet. Didn't even acknowledge it. I think this team is going in the right direction. They made a statement pick with Armand Membou to win in the trenches, to be physical. You got the most physical offensive lineman in this draft. Continue that through the rest of this. Mason Taylor, I am hoping, is the next pick. I think he's going to be a solid tight end. Comes from a family of good lineage. Jason Taylor was a Jet. Not many people might remember that, but he was a Jet and actually had a decent season, couple seasons with the Jets. Get his son. I think his son's going to be really good. Can block. Much better of a receiver, but we can work on that. Get interior offensive line help. Get pipeline players to come in. Get a receiver. Jaden Higgins, I think, is going to fall to the third round. If Luther Burden from Missouri, who is looked at as being a first-round talent, falls to the second round, that just shows you how deep this class is in a lot of these positions. Luther Burden is a solid receiver, a good gadget player. You could take him if he falls to you. I would be happy with that. You could take Trey Harris, who I'd love. I think he gives great compliment. Utilize his strengths, though. Doesn't have a great route running trait. Create plays that utilize his strengths, what routes he's best at. Get a tight end, second round. Savion Williams, another receiver that I really, really like. Third round. Big receiver, physical, but also can play quarterback in a pinch, can be a kick returner, punt returner. There are so many ways the Jets can go. They made their statement pick with Armand Membou in the first round, and I love it. And I think a lot of Jets fans love it. Unless you were all team Tyler Warren, you might be upset. But you can rectify that by getting a solid tight end in the second round. One who can come about and give you great numbers and complement your stars that you have. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Garrett Wilson, Malachi Corley even maybe. These are your future. These are the Jets' future, and they need to hit on these players in the next draft or in this draft to be able to utilize these guys' strengths. Muji even came out and said in the post first round interview that he's not taking calls on Breece. Breece is here. All right. Utilize your strengths. Build around it. You have a great young quarterback in Justin Fields who has tons of upside. Give him a security blanket and a tight end. And I'd say it again. The three that I'm looking at that I would be really happy with, Mason Taylor, Harold Fainin, Gunnar Helms. You can argue Elijah Arroyo. The guy's a matchup nightmare. But Gunnar Helm was injured during the combine. Could be a stud. You got Harold Fainin, who is so underrated just because he went to Bowling Green, a smaller school. He can dominate. He reminds me a lot of a better version of Isaiah Likely. The kid can dominate. And Mason Taylor can do it all. He's not the best blocker, but he can work on it and can get the job done. And I think this coaching staff can bring the best out of these guys. And I'm pumped for the draft. This time of the year gets me so excited. And looking at all these teams, I think some teams really hit it out of the park in this first round. I think so many teams, I think the Giants hit a slam dunk with their picks. You got your quarterback of the future, and you got the best player in the draft, in my opinion. I think the Browns hit it out of the park. You traded back, acquired more picks for years to come, and you still got the best defensive tackle in the draft with Mason Graham, hitting on a need that you had. I think the Panthers, you built up your receiving core with one of the biggest receivers in this draft, and basically helping out Bryce Young. These teams are building. A lot of these teams are doing what they need to. I like what the Jets did. You need to continue it. Other teams, you're going to have a lot of trades. Tomorrow is going to be a day, I think it's going to be a day of trades, especially in the second round. With how much great talent fell, It is going to be a night of trades tomorrow. And I'm ready for it. I am all for it. Don't be shocked if you see Pittsburgh trade up in the second round to get Jalen Milroe or to get a Quinn Ewers. Or, shocking too, don't be shocked if you see a Kyle McCord going higher than what you think, or Tyler Shuck. All right, that could be the next quarterback off the board. Shedeur Sanders is there. I don't know if a lot of people are that high on him. I think he'd go to the Browns. If the Browns really want a quarterback, I think Shedeur Sanders goes there. Or don't be shocked if Kyle McCord or Tyler Shuck is the pick tomorrow at quarterback too. It's going to get crazy, guys. That first round I thought was crazy with all of the different picks. Kenneth Grant going so high. I love that player, but was shocked that he went that high. In all the mock drafts I've seen, he did not go that high in any of them. It's going to get really crazy, and just be prepared for it. Be excited for it, because this is what makes the NFL draft and NFL offseason so freaking exciting, is all the chaos and never knowing what's going to happen. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys joining me. I know it was late. I know I rambled a lot. I tend to do that. I love the questions you guys got. Rich from Fishbowl Fantasy Sports, you know I love you, brother. I'll always shout your channel out because you do great work over there. Jets Poughkeepsie, you're an awesome guy. I just love writing comments to you guys, talking back and forth with you. You always make this channel fun, and all of you guys make this channel fun. Whether you were subscribed, if you've been here before, or you are new, just coming to this channel, just want to talk about draft, you are always welcome here. And I always love having you guys. You make this so much fun and enjoyable. And shouting you guys out too. We have reached to 600 subscribers on this channel, and I couldn't be happier. And it's not just me that I'm shouting out. You guys are family. You are my community. You are part of this channel just as much as I am. And I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you so much. Let's keep it going. Jets Word community, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me, and let's get it tomorrow for rounds 2 and 3. I'm so excited, and this was so much fun tonight. I'm going to try to jump on tomorrow too after the draft. It might be a little later, and if you join me that much, if you want to join me later, I would be so happy to have you guys. If you can't make it, I understand. It's long nights, guys, but thank you guys so much. You guys make this so much fun. I appreciate every single one of you. And again, JETS, 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 Jets. Have a great night, guys.